To a very overdue Cloud Gears episode. I'm Victor and this is Roman.
Hello.
Today we're going to be talking about the Frsky Taranis and
the Hitec Aurora9x.
Yes. Now, on appearance, the Frsky Taranis looks deceptively outdated. I'll get into what I mean about that later on. But overall, the external looks of it, it looks kind of cheap, to be honest. It's got a hard plastic case and it doesn't look anything special.
I agree. I mean, the 9x actually, the Aurora9x looks more expensive. I mean, it has a nice touch on it with the chrome.
And it definitely is.
Yeah. You know, it has it gives a bit of attention to detail. It adds the rubber bands around on the sides, so you actually have some grip around the, you know, sticky situations. So if your hands sweat a lot, you'll find it useful.
Yeah, in the summertime it really helps.
Yeah.
Definitely. Inputs. So let's talk about inputs. Now, the Frsky Taranis has all the things you would need, obviously the two sticks, the minimum requirements, switches and two knobs, which the 9x does not.
I do not have the knobs, but the advantage of the Aurora9x here is the actual tension and the modes, they can be easily adjusted through the back. So they're accessible through the, you remove the two rubber plugs in the back and you actually can tune them to your own likings.
Yeah, you definitely win on that, because if I want to adjust the Taranis stick tensions or the modes, I have to essentially open up the case. So you have to be a bit careful when you do that. It's not that hard. If you ever open the radio, you'll be fine. But it's just one more extra step. However, I should point out that, for example, I wanted the throttle hold on the right side, and instead this switch was on the right, which is momentary. Very easy to switch it, so it's definitely a modern radio. It's really good for that. The sticks felt a little cheap, so I just switched them with some Futaba ones. No big deal.
So it's not a big burden on data.
Oh, definitely. Interface.
All right, interface. Big plus on the 9x is it's an actual touchscreen. I mean, we are in the iPad, iPhone era, whatever. So very easily accessible, very intuitive. I really like the layout. I'm a new pilot, so I didn't have a hard time really navigating through it. And since it's an actual resistance touchscreen, you actually can wear gloves and use it in cooler conditions, having, you know, keeping the warmth in.
Yeah,
while still flying around, so you're not getting distracted by the conditions.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's very easy to figure out. I didn't really have to use the manual almost at all. Most of the features are self-explanatory. It's very graphic. Whereas I do have to give a negative for the Taranis. It's a bit more involved. You do have to read more, which is that's fine. Once you learn how to use it, you'll be okay. It does have buttons, so you can use that in winter with gloves as well. I'll have to say that much. However, the screen is a little bit cheap looking. The quality of it looks a bit washed out, and it's not thrilling, whereas the 9x looks very polished.
Yeah, it's polished, and if you also are a stylus fan, it comes with a stylus, so you can use that as well for, you know, more precision, let's say.
Right, yeah, definitely. Programming.
Programming, all right.
Let's move on to programming. This is where the Taranis excels. With all due respect to the 9x, as much as I love it, the Taranis is very capable radio. It has a much more powerful processor, and you can essentially do whatever you need with it. You can assign any switch to any channel, any switch you can have it control anything. Like this switch, for example, controls the throttle hold, and it also plays the sound file. So you release it, or you lock it.
Hold.
Now you can also have it play different sound files. For example, you can have, you know, pick your favorite sound effect from certain games.
Are you still there?
Or you know, anything you want. It's
neat.
It's very neat, and it's very customizable. You can actually play music. It's got a headphone jack in the back, a USB port, so you can connect it to the computer to do all the programming. You can essentially program it without touching the buttons.
Yeah, that's very neat.
Yes.
I mean, this is where the 9X kind of comes short-handed.
Yeah.
So it comes with a built-in AFHSS module, so you're limited in terms of the versatility. If you wanted to use third-party modules, it's a bit of a burden there. And so the Aurora 9 actually had the module plug-in, and it had a wire around it, around the back of the transmitter. You no longer have it, but that also limits the versatility of it as well.
Yeah, it's built in, which means you can't add fun things like a JR module, like the Taranis supports. So you can have a easy UHF in here, and you can transmit either to the 2.4 or the easy whatever module you have, or both at the same time.
Yeah, so it all depends on the richness of the capabilities you want to add to your stock transmitter. For me, it's a bit easier because I'm somewhat of a noob, as I mentioned before, and we had the 9X for over a year, since October 2013, with absolutely zero problems, and there were actually no updates to the firmware or any new kind of patches. So it's relatively easy for a stagnant kind of pilot.
Yes, but I have to say it's a negative, because at the same time the Taranis guys, the OpenTX people, have released about 15 updates. So they're just adding features, it's an open source firmware, and because of that it is a lot more faster paced in terms of what they're moving. They're adding, whereas the Hitec guys have disappointed a lot of people from what I've read with their lack of updates. I have a HPP22 programmer, forgive me if I got that wrong, but it's essentially useless. There's no way to copy the models off the radio, there's no way to add anything, you cannot use it for anything other than what it supports right now, which is not the 9X.
So eventually you can get stuck as you develop yourself as a pilot and your own equipment as well.
So that's it. Thanks for watching.
Thank you guys. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and stay tuned. We're going to have some more videos. We're going to be more regular this time.
Yeah. Take care.